Self-worth is not arrogance, and you must understand this deeply because the world has confused confidence with ego and humility with silence. Valuing yourself does not mean you think you are better than others. It means you refuse to believe you are less than anyone. Arrogance says, "Look at me." But self-worth says, "I am responsible for who I become." When you value yourself, you stop waiting for applause to begin your work. You stop asking permission to take space. You stop explaining your dreams to people who benefit from your doubts. Read this like advice, not like praise. If you don't value yourself, no amount of talent will save you. You will overgive, over-explain, overwork, and still feel invisible. You will confuse being needed with being respected. Self-worth teaches you that your energy is not free, your time is not cheap, and your life is not a rehearsal. It tells you that you are accountable for how you allow others to treat you. When you value yourself, you stop calling self-respect pride. You stop feeling guilty for choosing growth over comfort. You stop shrinking your voice so others can feel tall. This is not rebellion, this is education. You are learning how to stand without attacking, how to be firm without being cruel, how to love without losing yourself. Even Muniba Mazari reminds us through lived experience that dignity begins inside. Responsibility is waking up every day and choosing not to abandon yourself. It is correcting your inner dialogue. It is replacing "I am not enough" with "I am learning." It is understanding that confidence grows from discipline, not noise. Value yourself so strongly that disrespect feels uncomfortable, excuses feel heavy, and mediocrity feels unnatural. This is not about becoming loud. This is about becoming unshakable. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are bridges to keep yourself in. And understanding this is the first step toward real self-respect. Many people confuse setting limits with being cold or selfish, but the truth is that every no you speak with clarity is an act of courage and love for yourself. When you value yourself, you stop apologizing for protecting your energy. You stop bending in uncomfortable ways to make others comfortable. You learn that every time you compromise your peace, you are teaching people how to treat you, and that lesson can either lift you or bury you. Think about it deeply. Without boundaries, you are like a boat without a rudder, drifting wherever the world pushes you. People will take more than you can give. They will demand more than you can sustain. And if you have not trained yourself to stand firm, you will sink quietly under the weight of their expectations. Boundaries are not rejection, they are clarity. They are the lines that define your worth, the invisible armor that allows you to engage with the world without losing yourself. Learning to say enough requires strength. It requires the audacity to prioritize your mental health over momentary approval. It requires the courage to face disappointment, criticism, and even anger from those who cannot see your value yet. But this is exactly where growth begins. When you honor your limits, you teach others the language of respect. You teach yourself the language of self-love. Every time you assert your boundaries, you reinforce the truth that your presence is precious, your time is sacred, and your peace is non-negotiable. Do not confuse kindness with weakness, and do not confuse tolerance with obligation. Boundaries are education. They show the world who you are, what you stand for, and the level of energy you will allow to exist in your life. They transform relationships, reshape your mindset, and gradually they reshape your life. Your pain does not reduce your purpose. And this is a lesson most people learn too late. Life has a way of testing us in moments we never see coming. Moments that make us question our worth, our strength, and even our dreams. But every scar, every tear, every struggle is not a signal that you are weak. It is proof that you are alive, that you have endured, and that you are capable of more than you imagine. When you value yourself, you stop seeing pain as punishment and start seeing it as a teacher. It speaks to you in the quiet moments, saying you are stronger than you think, and your journey is still unfolding. Pain can feel heavy, overwhelming, and unfair, but it is also the raw material for growth. If you allow it to shape you rather than define you, it becomes fuel. every challenge you face is an opportunity to know yourself better, to discover resilience you didn't know existed, and to cultivate the courage to keep moving forward. When you value yourself, you stop hiding from your struggles or pretending they don't exist. You acknowledge them, you feel them, and then you rise above them. You stop comparing your journey to others, because your pain is uniquely yours, and so is your triumph. Understand that purpose is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the presence of perseverance. Every setback, failure, and heartbreak contains a lesson designed to strengthen your mind, heart, and spirit. When you embrace this, you no longer fear difficulty, because you know that your purpose is bigger than temporary suffering. You become someone who stands tall in the storm, someone who lifts others because you have learned to lift yourself. Pain becomes a compass, pointing toward growth, empathy, and clarity, teaching you that your life has value not in spite of your struggles, but because of how you rise after them. Growth begins the day you stop asking for permission to exist, and this is the turning point between a life of quiet compliance and a life of bold fulfillment. Too many people live waiting for approval, from parents, friends, bosses, or society, believing that their worth depends on someone else's validation. But the truth is that every moment spent seeking permission is a moment stolen from your potential. When you value yourself, you realize that your existence, your ideas, your dreams, and your voice do not need a green light from anyone. You have every right to occupy space, to pursue your ambitions, and to shine unapologetically. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit into small expectations. Stop hesitating because someone might judge, because someone might doubt, or because someone might say no. Growth is not polite. It is bold, relentless, and uncompromising. It demands that you stand firm in your decisions, take responsibility for your failures, and celebrate your victories without seeking permission. Every time you act from self-belief rather than external approval, you strengthen the foundation of your life, and you send a message to the world that your presence matters. Understand that waiting for permission creates a life of limitations, but claiming your right to exist creates a life of expansion. It changes how you approach opportunities, how you engage with challenges, and how you design your future. You become a person who does not fear rejection, because rejection no longer defines your worth. It only redirects your path. You learn to trust your instincts, to follow your purpose, and to honor your inner voice above all external noise. When you embrace this mindset, doors that once seemed closed begin to open, not because someone gave you permission, but because your self-belief commands space in the world. Your energy shifts, your decisions become intentional, and your life begins to reflect the power of knowing that you do not need approval to grow, to rise, or to be exactly who you are meant to be. Discipline is self-love in action, and understanding this can completely transform the way you approach your life. Too often people think discipline is restriction, punishment, or rigid rules, but the truth is that discipline is the truest form of respect you can show yourself. It is waking up every day with intention, keeping your promises to yourself, and choosing the long-term benefit over short-term comfort. When you value yourself, discipline stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like an act of empowerment. It is not about denying yourself pleasure. It is about granting yourself the future you deserve. Discipline teaches you consistency, and consistency is what turns dreams into reality. You may feel tired, uninspired, or overwhelmed, but showing up for yourself anyway is the proof that you matter. It is easy to wait for motivation, but motivation is fleeting. Discipline is permanent. It is the force that pushes you to practice, to learn, to improve, and to rise even when the world doubts you. When you are disciplined, your actions align with your goals, your priorities become clear, and your life gains direction. Think of every choice you make as a reflection of your self-worth. Skipping that extra hour of work or study, avoiding discomfort, or giving in to distractions is telling yourself that your growth is optional. But when you act with discipline, You are declaring that your potential is non-negotiable. Discipline builds resilience, strengthens character, and teaches patience. It transforms challenges into lessons, setbacks into strategies, and ordinary days into opportunities for progress. When you adopt discipline as self-love, you begin to honor your time, your energy, and your ambitions. You become someone who does not compromise on their values, who treats their goals as sacred, and who refuses to settle for less than what they are capable of achieving. Discipline turns your intentions into habits, and your habits into a life that reflects the depth of your self-respect, commitment, and belief in your own potential. When mindset changes, decisions change, and life follows, and this is a truth that most people fail to fully embrace. The way you see yourself shapes the choices you make, the risks you take, and the opportunities you allow into your life. If your mindset is limited, your decisions will reflect fear, doubt, and hesitation. But when you truly value yourself, your mindset shifts, and suddenly you stop tolerating mediocrity, you stop accepting excuses, and you stop living life according to someone else's expectations. Your decisions start aligning with your worth, your purpose, and your potential. A transformed mindset teaches you that challenges are not roadblocks, but stepping stones. It shows you that failure is not final, but informative. When you adopt this perspective, you begin to choose courage over comfort, action over procrastination, and self-respect over approval. Every decision becomes intentional rather than reactive. You stop letting emotions dictate your path and start letting clarity, vision, and self-belief guide you. This is the power of a valued mindset. It creates a life that is no longer a series of coincidences, but a reflection of deliberate choices. Understand that your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. If it is clouded by self-doubt, insecurity, or fear of judgment, even the best opportunities will appear small or unreachable. But when you nurture a mindset of self-value, resilience, and possibility, doors that once seemed closed begin to open. You make decisions that honor your time, energy, and ambitions. You surround yourself with people who elevate rather than drain you. You pursue goals that challenge rather than comfort you, and you take risks that grow rather than diminish you. Changing your mindset is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment. Every thought you entertain, every belief you reinforce, and every perspective you choose shapes the trajectory of your life. When your mindset evolves, your decisions naturally evolve, and your life begins to reflect the extraordinary power of knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less.